This happened when I was, well, little. Maybe 6 or 7. My family, you see, has always been deeply religious. So Easter. Easter was huge for us. Same as most of the big holidays, really. Now that I think back, even Sundays felt significant the way Mom and Dad treated church. It is funny, actually. Some of my clearest early memories are tied to that building. And this is one of them. It was Easter Sunday. The services, naturally, were much longer than usual. I didn't mind though. They taught me about faith early on, a real love for it. After the main service came Sunday School CCD, our church called it. I know some places skip it after big masses, but ours didn't. So, once mass ended, Mom and Dad walked me downstairs to the classrooms just like they'd done 100 times before, probably. I waved goodbye. Let me just describe the church layout quickly so this makes sense. It was sort of split level. The main sanctuary altar, pews, all that was upstairs. Down below, in the basement, were the classrooms. Technically a basement, yes, but the church sat on a slope, so you could still walk in and out from down there. There was this long, carpeted hallway, maybe 7 or 8 rooms off each side, grouped by age. Mine was one of the first on the left. Way down at the very end of that hall were the bathrooms, boys and girls. And right next to those, a heavy green metal door leading outside. Almost always locked from the inside, I remember that. But we were told, emergencies. The adults always warned us, never go out that door, it locks behind you, you won't get back in. Anyway, back to that Easter. The whole downstairs had been transformed. Really decorated. Pastel streamers drooped along the walls, little paper cutouts of lambs and crosses were everywhere. Kids' drawings of Jesus were taped between the classroom doors. Some teachers even wore those cheap plastic bunny ears you get at the drugstore. Honestly, it felt more festive down there than it did upstairs during Mass. All the kids were buzzing, probably thinking about the accounts later. Normally, I'd wait until class was over, but that Easter service had run so long. I just couldn't hold it. I raised my hand, asked to go. The teacher nodded, excuse me. The bathrooms weren't far, maybe 15 feet down the hall. It wasn't unusual for kids to go alone. They always said they'd check if we took too long, but I don't think it ever happened. So I slipped up quietly. The rest of the class was busy coloring, pictures of the empty tomb, Jesus rising. I went into the boys' room, shut the stall door behind me. It was quiet in there. Those bathrooms were old. All I could hear was the soft, low hum of the fluorescent lights overhead, and maybe the faint echo of a teacher's voice drifting down the hallway. But then, as I was sitting there, I heard it. A weird, scraping sound. From the stall next to mine. It wasn't normal. Not like someone just shifting their feet or fumbling with the lock. It was slow, uneven. A sort of metallic drag, like something sharp being pulled across the inside of the stall door. Not loud, but distinct. I don't remember feeling scared right then. Mostly just puzzled. My first thought was just another kid messing around. So I stayed quiet, finished up. As I was washing my hands though, I glanced up at the mirror, and I saw it. The door to the next stall, creaking open, slowly. But it wasn't another kid stepping out. It was a grown man, wearing an Easter bunny costume. I remember the ears, how they flopped forward a little. How the suit itself looked wrong. Kind of saggy and stained in places. Like it hadn't been washed, maybe ever. The fur wasn't bright white, more of a dingy, greyish white. And one of the big plastic eyes on the head looked sewn back on crooked. But the thing is, even seeing him, I still wasn't scared. Not yet. I was just a kid, right? In my mind, this was the Easter Bunny, making a surprise visit just for me. I think I smiled when I turned around from the sink. I might have even mumbled a little hi. He didn't say anything at first, just stood there, halfway out of the stall, staring. His big bunny head was tilted slightly to the side. He didn't move. I remember feeling a bit awkward. Like, was I supposed to say something else? Then, after a long pause, maybe just a few seconds, but it felt longer, he stepped all the way out. He slowly raised one of his big, padded paws, pointing towards the hallway door. Towards the outside. The S when he spoke. His voice was muffled, strange, coming from behind the mask, but I still remember the exact words. You're the lucky chosen child. I have a gift for you outside. I didn't even hesitate. I was thrilled. Genuinely excited. May? Chosen for a special Easter surprise. Maybe it was being in church, that feeling of safety. I don't know. I just pushed open that heavy grey door without a second thought, not even remembering the warnings about it locking behind me. The Easter Bunny followed right behind. Silent again. He started walking across the pavement, heading towards the far corner of the church parking lot. There was a car parked way back there, mostly hidden by the big dumpster and a couple of scraggly bushes. I remember a little thought popping into my head. That's a weird place to park. And he doesn't even have a basket. At some point, he started holding my hand. His furry glove felt rough. We were maybe halfway across the empty lot when I saw it. Another Easter bunny. Stepping out from beside the car he was leading me towards. I just stopped walking. My little kid brain stutter, trying to make sense of it. I remember looking from the bunny holding my hand to the other bunny by the car, back and forth. Completely confused. I hadn't seen that car pull up. How? And two of them? Suddenly, it didn't feel magical anymore. It just felt wrong. Deeply wrong. To this day. I've always thought of what happened next as, well, maybe an act of God. One of the teachers. Miss Sabrina, I think her name was, just happened to be walking around the side of the church right then. Maybe getting ready for the egg hunt, maybe checking on something. I don't know. But she looked over towards the parking lot, right as I was standing there hand in hand with this thing being led towards that hidden car and the second bunny. I will never forget the sound she made. I have never, ever heard a scream like that. Pure terror. The man in the costume instantly let go of my hand. Bolvid. Ran straight for the car. And without even thinking, I just took off. Running the other way. Straight towards Miss Sabrina. Once I was safe, wrapped in her arms, I turned my head. Just in time to see the car, tires squealing, speeding out of the parking lot and onto the road. I'm not 100% positive, my memory is hazy on this precise moment, but I am pretty sure. I saw another kid. In the backseat of that car. Miss Sabrina hadn't even looked back at the car, she was just focused on me, but I told her, choked it out between sobs, what I thought I saw. And she took me seriously. The next few hours are blurry. Miss Sabrina yelling, other adults running over, the police arriving eventually, making me tell them what happened over and over. They asked about the kid in the backseat. I tried my best to describe him, what little I saw in that split second, wondering if my mind was just playing tricks on me. My parents, they were beside themselves. Understandably. My mom. I think she just cried for an hour straight after we finally got home. The police followed up with the church, of course. But nothing ever came of it. No missing children reported in the area that matched. They didn't really have anything to go on. The running theory was whoever it was somehow had a key to that back tower, knew the layout, and just sat in that bathroom stall, waiting for a kid to come in alone. And by some awful twist of fate, that kid was me. I still find the whole thing deeply unsettling. Whoever did that, they must have known the church. Otherwise, how would they know where to park to stay hidden? Where to wait? How to get away so quickly? But what scares me the most, truly, is that I think there really was a kid in the backseat of that car. It's hard for an Easter to come and go without me thinking about it.